This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Paul, ready? Welcome in to the Triple Option. Paul Catalina alongside Garrett Ross today. Steven Simcox has like 700 kids.
Yeah.
He has a lot of kids.
I met him, he had
kids.
none. And then now he's got a whole daycare.
Exponentially, like,
yes.
I've not really known him that long, less than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's getting close to a decade,
right,
but less than a decade. And he went from being a recent college graduate, or not even quite a college graduate yet, like a semester left.
Yeah.
No kids, no girlfriends. No, look, I'll just say, no prospects really either. No. I tease because I love. No, but no girlfriend, to being married. Immediately they adopted two kids. Yep. And they were very, very young at the time. A brother and a sister, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they started having kids, and it happened very fast.
Yes.
So it is a holiday week. So it's also a holiday week for summer camps. So that's why Steven is not here today.
Yeah, though, that's where I'm kind of blessed in a sense with my wife's situation, like staying at home, because I don't have to really worry about the camps. Because if I did, it would be a nightmare situation.
Yeah.
That and daycare have always kind of hindered us from the whole. It's a scam in my opinion.
Daycare is a scam?
Yeah, dude, it's so expensive, man. Yeah. It's so ridiculous. And then if you miss it, like say I'm sick and Parker can't go to daycare.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They're still going to charge me. So what I make, like if my wife went and got a job at Target or something, her whole paycheck goes to pay daycare. It's pointless. It's a scam.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, like, the better companies offer it, like big companies offer it because they want, of course, there's all bottom lines on everything. Mm-hmm. But, I think Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness Gym, they have daycare for when you want to go to the gym, so you don't have
helps.
excuse. That helps. But again, you can't just be like, all right, I'm going to go work out for 90 minutes.
Drop you off.
I'll see you at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my workout in. Kid's going to stay here the whole day. But, it is. I can see how there's not an a la carte daycare option.
No.
Yeah, I think maybe that's where we make our money, is a la carte daycare.
I think there's something to work with there. I have plenty of experience. I can
order. Here's the thing. I can order on one singular app, or I can go to 3 different apps.
Right.
If I wanted to right now and say, like, listen, I would like a cheeseburger from Burger King, but I want fries from McDonald's, and I want a Frosty from Wendy's, and I can have all that brought to me. Mm-hmm. But I can't go and say, like, hey, I need 75 days of daycare, not 100.
Right.
So I would like to pay you for 75.
I mean, I think there's an option there. There's a good ground base.
There's a growth market there. I don't have children, so I don't need daycare, and I don't mean to compare them to animals, but if I took
they're very similar.
But if I took the dog to a kennel, if I'm going on vacation, a doggy daycare type place, they're not going to charge me for the whole month.
Right.
They're going to charge me for the days that they have to feed and shelter my dog. That's it.
Yes.
Right? So now look, we didn't do that either with Woodrow. He was too old, A. B, I told when he was older, would not have been his thing.
Right, yeah.
And 3, we just liked it better. We just get a house sitter and, somebody we knew, and they come and...
Yeah, it helps.
It helps. So... probably also cheaper than doggy daycare. I don't have to buy other food, just the food I've already bought, all those other things. But, there are those things. But they're not going to do that. So I think that we should apply the doggy daycare model to children.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. There's something there. We just got to find the right people.
Well,
we
because, like, what if you and Anna want to go on a 3-day vacation?
Oh, bro, I can't.
Yeah.
I've lived this for my whole marriage.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah. Now, look, and here's the other thing. Your older daughter is working now.
Yeah. She just turned 18. She's working.
Yeah, she's working. So, like, your built-in babysitter is
trial and error.
It's kind of gone. Like,
it is?
First of all, she has a social life in high school anyway.
Yes.
Even though she's more of a pick and chooser than it's Friday, I have to leave this house.
No, she's not like that. No.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, no, I get it. Okay. Well, we've got a business idea.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah. Uncle Paulie and G-Money's.
Hey, bring your rascals. We got you.
Daycare. Yeah. No, I don't think that's a good name.
No.
That's a terrible name for a daycare. That would be
we'll
like
shut down in like a day.
What do they eat? Well, they can make a Hot Pocket. God, everybody knows how to work the microwave.
Get some crackers. You'll be fine.
Is your kid so worthless he can't work a microwave? He's 2.
What? But he can work his iPad.
He can work an iPad.
Yeah, exactly. You get the microwave.
Come on.
Figure it out.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of things to get to today. At the end of the show, I'm going to warn you, if you want to just be talking sports, which is already the beginning of the show, we haven't talked any of it. But if you want to be talking sports, we're not going to do it. We're going to talk about the most Florida thing that's ever Floridaed.
That's pretty good.
It happened yesterday. It is the most, and I'm going to give you, if you've not been down I-75 towards this place, I'm going to give you some great context for it. Garrett, I might even have to send you some pictures of this before the segment, if you can fit them in.
We can make that work.
But it is the most Florida thing that's ever Floridaed, and honestly, may ever Florida.
I mean, and this is talking about after the Panthers just celebrated the championship.
Yeah,
and they went pretty Florida.
Yeah, they went pretty Florida.
This is up there.
Like the only way it could be more Florida would be almost impossible. Like if you could tie an alligator who swallowed bath salts into it,
while he's wearing shorts.
That's the only way. Yes, like that's the only way. And also, I find it funny because of where it happened.
Yes,
I mean. It's special. So we're going to get into that later because I found it hilarious. I sent it to you without context, and you thought it was hilarious.
I did. It was perfect.
You just sent it to you. You didn't. I'm sure you thought like, oh, he's talking about this today. But
I looked at it, and when I skimmed through the article, I was like, oh my god, this is something we've definitely
we got to talk about it. So that's going to be in the third segment. But first segment. Since it is the summertime and all these weird things are going on, and it's like, we've had a lot of news for early in July. I'm not complaining.
No, it's been nice.
Today is actually slowed down to a pace of what feels like tomorrow is the 4th of July, which it is, obviously, and go America. So I saw this debate going on, and it was Graham Coffey, who covers Georgia. We've had Graham on the show, covers Georgia in the SEC. But he mentioned on Twitter that he thought it was hilarious that Texas has been in the conference for 2 full days at this point. And there is already a battle between Texas and Tennessee over who the real UT is. So I will put it to you, chat. Who's the real UT? And there is not a debate between, like, Alabama doesn't, like, they're the U of A.
Right.
So is Arizona. They're the U of A. I guess so would be the University of Alaska, but they're not.
There's
really,
yeah.
But yeah, that like
the only other one I can think of is like USC and South Carolina. You could do that, but that's still different.
Yeah, but they're not ever going to fight,
right?
Because,
exactly.
Even though the likelihood of whose conference is going to be where is still kind of weird, they're never really probably going to be in the same conference. Although never say never anymore. Like we might one day be like, man, that. The USC rivalry has gotten great here in 2091.
Right.
I don't know. So Kim Coulter says easy, it's Tennessee.
Well, all right. So when looking at this, I personally never, I guess maybe it's because I live in Texas. I never really hear Tennessee referred to as UT. It's always Tennessee. It's always Rocky Top. And even Texas, like, I mean, Texas more so to me has always been identified with UT because that's just kind of how you sum it up here. But, like, if you want to get down to the nuts and bolts of this, I went and looked. Tennessee was founded in 1794. Texas in 1883. There you go.
Okay, so.
I mean, but both of them, I mean, they're so similar, dude. Like, they have this pedigree. They have rich history. Neither one of them have ever really been able to consistently live up to the expectations. Both of them have been irrelevant until this new era where NIL has come into play and transfer portal. That's what's finally got both of these programs back to being consistently good.
On the upward swing at the same time.
Where most people expect them to be, right?
Yeah.
You both have the weird colors of orange there that you could go off of.
They're both orange and white.
Yeah.
They're both orange and white. I was going to bring that up. What?
You got the Mannings, right? Both of them. You had Peyton, and you got Arch. There's so many similarities to both of these. I think there's a lot of good traditions. I think the atmosphere and the game day presentation put on by Tennessee is so much better than what Texas can do.
Well,
just like the checkered, how they do that and stuff.
I would say outside the stadium, there's really when Texas is good, there's not much cooler places to walk around than downtown Austin and Schultz's Beer Garden and all the cool places they have. DKR has been slow to update itself.
And it's too condensed around the stadium.
Yeah. So it's a little more difficult. Now, DKR's game day experience has elevated in the last couple of years because they did listen to their fans and were like, hey, it's pretty bland here.
Right.
For if we're if the Los Dodds years ago is going, we don't keep up with the Joneses, we're the Joneses.
Yeah.
And then you look around and you're like, no. We're not the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely not the Joneses. We were pretending to be the Joneses.
Yeah.
And so they constantly back that stuff up. They've made upgrades. It's better now. Neyland Stadium is unique. It's on the water, all these cool things. So it's the definition of an SEC stadium, right? As where Texas is its own kind of thing. It's very unique. I would like to propose this because you know me, Garrett. I am like the great Henry Clay. I'm the great compromiser. Mm-hmm. And let me give you some facts on Henry Clay. He was the Secretary of State, but he was known as the Great Compromiser in the Senate and the House. He was a Whig, which I'm thinking of bringing back.
You think you're going to do it?
Look, here's the thing. Republicans and Democrats have failed us both equally in different ways. I say let's bring back the Whigs.
You think that'll change it up? Just shakes things up?
Do you think if I ran for president as a Whig, people would be like, what?
I think you should do one. One of your late night things, do it in a wig.
Yeah, whatever. I'll have the old wig on, but the Whig Party. I think I could do that. I don't think the Whigs old ideals really line up, but we're the new Whig Party. Mm-hmm. Don't confuse us with John Quincy Adams. We're not doing that. But yes, he was the great compromiser. He worked very hard to make sure everything was they got things done.
Right.
So as Henry Clay, as the Henry Clay of this, by the way, so far 50-50. Our polls I'm watching, it's going back and forth. Every time somebody votes, it bounces back and forth on who is the real UT. Kim Coulter points out it was the 16th state. But yeah, the new Whig Party, which has none of the views of the old Whig Party, because I'm sure some of them were about cotton gins.
Oh yeah,
I have no opinion on that. My party consists of uniform microwave functionality, things
bidets. Definitely the bidets.
Bidets.
Yeah,
we're gonna dispel the myths about bidets. oh, I haven't mentioned working on it. Got an affiliate deal with Tushy. But working on, I'm gonna offer them. I think I should offer them. Don't you think that a bidet company should be the title sponsor of this show?
I think this is the perfect show for them to be a title sponsor.
Yes.
Personally.
Yes.
I've never seen anyone more passionate about bidets.
There's no one more passionate about that than me. And I do feel like I'm really good at cleaning up shit. So figuratively and literally. So no, I think that should be a thing. I'm going to offer it to them. It's going to be a big money sponsorship, so hopefully they'll take the bait. But they are there. So if this is already a rivalry and they haven't even played.
They haven't.
And I don't think they play this year, do they? They don't play.
I have to look. Hold on.
Let me look. I don't think they do play this year.
Let's see here.
Okay, let's look at Texas's schedule for this year.
No, they do not play.
They do not play this year.
Nope.
Yes. So I think that we should have the Davy Crockett Trophy.
I'm down.
Davy Crockett, famous Tennessee statesman that left Tennessee and famously said, y'all can all go to hell. I'm going to Texas. The Davy Crockett Trophy, and who died with honor at the Alamo. And there's so many similarities to these two programs. And another thing is, what's funny about this is because Tennessee and Florida are natural rival. Texas and Florida are almost identical programs to me. Like the way they carry themselves, the fan base, the just grand misconception of who you really are and everything. Like that's eerily similar. So I think this Tennessee and Texas thing could be a really fun rivalry. I think bringing in a trophy or something like the Davy Crockett Trophy.
And if this is all about eyeballs, it's all about marketing and everything, this is the perfect setup.
Especially if it's only going to get exchanged like once every 4 years or something like that.
Then you could definitely
it makes
work
it kind of unique.
It.
Yes. Let's create the Davy Crockett Trophy. I'm sorry, Vanderbilt, you're not in on this.
Now, Vanderbilt, you know where you're at.
I'm sorry, Vanderbilt, you're not in on this. A&M, you're not in. Like, A&M could have already done this. A&M and Tennessee
their opportunity.
could have already done this.
A&M ruined everything.
Because we're talking about the real UT, that's the Davy Crockett Trophy. A&M and Tennessee have hardly played, too.
Yeah, no.
Like they've hardly played in this whole time.
Yeah,
A&M and Georgia just now started playing. They I don't know if they've even met each other.
A&M played Georgia.
No, like actually physically met.
Oh,
like before that time, it would have been like, I've seen you at the meetings, right?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't talk because we don't.
It's like the SEC shorts when the Oklahoma goes to Kentucky. It's like, I don't know very much about your school, so I have to get back with you.
Yeah, I don't know. You do this, right?
Yeah.
We do this. Sometimes we do this.
Right.
But you do this.
No, that's the cool thing too, is because this is one of those things.
Look, Rick Barnes is the basketball coach.
Okay, and then I was thinking, because I'm glad you brought Rick Barnes up. I was thinking baseball, because this is going to turn into this is one of those things.
Tony Vitello worked for Schloss.
Yes.
The Davy Crockett Trophy.
Tennessee just beat A&M. Like, there's so many things there to work with, where it's not just because a lot of times I feel like rivalries can be focused solely on one sport, and it's mainly football. But this has an opportunity to cross so many different variables and different sports that it can be a lot of fun, man. And I think that's something that they definitely need to capitalize on. And I think they will. I mean, it's all about marketing. It's all about money. You have two big brands that represent. There's so much opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. No. I think. Look, right now we've got to trademark this idea. I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to figure out the Davy Crockett Trophy. We will sell this idea to them for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Yes, for a reasonable price.
I want a coonskin hat. That's all I want. Give me one of those.
You know what? I'll take you to San Antonio. We'll go down to El Mercado. I get you I know this because when I was 8, I got one at El Mercado. And I also got a whip, like an Indiana Jones whip.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had to play with that like in a very specific section of the driveway.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm sure kids, like people driving by, like, is that little bastard have a whip? But, in my head, it's da-da-da-da, da-da-da, so. But, yeah, you can do that. But, yeah, I can I think because already the fans are mad at each other about who the real UT is.
This is going to get nasty.
The owner of the Davy Crockett Trophy gets to be the real UT until the next time.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's a perfect trade-off.
There we go. I'm going to settle this nonsense before it even starts. We're gonna settle it on the field. There's going to be a trophy, and then you can have the real UT 2025 to 2027. Real UT. You get like a 2-year. You get a 2-year term, like a congressman, like Davy Crockett was a congressman.
There you go.
I mean, here we go.
It's full circle.
And I'm teaching people history.
I love it.
Of both of their states.
I'm all for it.
That's what I'm doing. It's educational for the children. It gives a thing. And then you can sit there and be like, I can't wait till we play Tennessee again to find out who the real UT is. And then you get your shirts with the Longhorn on it, and they can do horns down and all these things. So, UT parking. I'm so glad you've chimed in on this. I was hoping to hear from you. Tennessee fans are actually really annoying. Never thought I'd say that, as I actually love that state and their university.
Now you know how everybody feels about y'all.
Let's do it.
Dude, this is going to be so perfect.
Yes.
I'm pumped for this.
Emery, is Emery in here?
No, Emery bailed.
Emery bailed?
Emery ran behind me.
Oh. Okay. When Emery comes back, we need to make sure we chop this up, we send it to James, we put this all over.
It's got to go out. Yes.
All over UT and UT,
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what it is.
Both of them, like the mascots are both dope. Like I love Smokey and the Bevo's unique. Like it is the ideal rivalry to set in motion.
Yes, let's do. If you're going to build new rivalries,
this is how you do
it. Texas comes in with.
And everybody's going to get everybodybody's best shot.
Yeah, especially early on.
Yeah,
like when they want
to be humbled. They want to humble Texas.
Yeah. Everybody's going to want to,
but it's not going to. I think Texas,
like this could not have worked out better for them.
No, it's the perfect situation.
This could not have worked out better. Like 3 years ago, we're like, okay, good luck with that.
No, and everything lined up perfectly for them.
Because here's the thing. Tom Herman would have probably gotten, well, he didn't, but like Quinn Ewers would have been there if Tom Herman was still there, muddling through what was going on at Texas, which it wasn't the right match. And, but Tom Herman, like they would have most of the guys, like the recruiting hasn't changed.
The development has.
The development's changed. The retention has.
Yes.
They're not wasting guys anymore. Like Sark has made everything to the next level. They're recruiting different types of people from different places than they were before.
That's another thing. I think they were solely focused on like the state of Texas. Well, and you realize you're going to have to branch out too.
And look, when they, Jordan Hicks, he's from Ohio. Like when they had their best years, they went and got guys from other places. I think that's a thing where you have to dominate your state where you are. No matter, Wyoming has to get the most Wyoming kids. It doesn't matter. Like, you have to dominate the state where you are. But you also have to be able to go and, like, you know what? Maybe there's not any good, linebackers in your state.
Well, Ohio State's a great example.
You have to be able to, like, Ohio State, like, you know what? Not a lot of good linebackers in like the Midwest.
And you come and rip them out of Texas.
So I'll go get receivers out of Texas. And part of the problem is they're not running those offenses up there in Ohio, right? Like the same that they are in Texas. Yeah. Like that's why people come to Texas and go south, because the spread offense down here is proliferating, and it takes a long time. Like this was a wishbone state for a long time. All the rest of the South was like everybody's running the option, and then like eventually you start, running spreads, and it gets out and out and out and out and out, and people start doing that. Look, Nebraska, part of the reason Nebraska went off track was Bill Callahan tried to convert them too early from what they were. But he was like, well, this is where football's going. Yeah, but no. Where you guys were good is you had big offensive linemen who knocked into people, and you kind of changed that fundamentally. And so where you're dominating and recruiting and getting guys that no longer fit your system. So like all these kids who grew up, getting ready to play in the option in the power I, like now they don't have a place because you're trying to do something different, And so that was the biggest thing. So, but, UT Parking says the biggest issue with Texas right now is the state isn't producing enough blue chip defensive tackles. Sark will have to hunt in the portal every single offseason just to get average DT. Yeah. That's true. Like, that also, do you want to know why the SEC has won most of the titles?
Because they bulk up in the trenches.
Because they've had the most of those guys, particularly at, I need to go look back. If I look back at all the defensive tackles, not even defensive ends, like defensive ends.
The interior defensive linemen.
But the interior defensive linemen, if you think about all the teams from the SEC that won titles, for the most part, there was at least one guy, whether it's Nick Fairley at Auburn, who was, to me,
Mountain Cody at Bama way back in the day.
Yeah. Look, Marcel, like Texas knows all about Marcel Darius because he put Colt out of that game. He was a first-round pick. Christian Barmore at Bama. I mean, like they had all
of the Georgia guys of late.
The Philadelphia
Jalen
Eagles'
Carter,
current defensive tackles.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean that's why that position to me is the most like, why? You know why Texas had maybe a better chance to win it last year than they might this year? Even though
Sweat and Murphy.
Because Sweat and Murphy. Like, I'm not saying Texas doesn't have a great chance to win it.
No, but that was an X factor.
That was an SEC. Those are two SEC defensive tackles right there. I mean, that's why they didn't have much trouble with the Big 12 last year. You know,
that's honestly why they won the Kansas State game.
Yeah.
Honestly,
because they had those two guys. So, yeah, he said Florida, Georgia, Mississippi just seem to turn out monster DTs. Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
I'll tell you something. One of the things Charlie Strong said about Texas recruiting was starkly different from when he was, because he recruited Florida really well.
Oh, yeah.
He recruited Florida really well. And, of course, he was there, under Urban Meyer. And then when he was at Louisville, he was still – he recruited Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he had a pipeline.
Yeah. I still, to this day, the fact that none of those three schools got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know how you –
that was the when Lamar Jackson left Florida to go to – not to go to Bama or to Georgia or to Tennessee, to go to Louisville.
Well, that's what the same thing West Virginia used to be able to do.
Yeah. Where's Pat White?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Noel Devine from Dion's hometown, my hometown, our hometown, which I will mention to him if we get him on the show, and he will go, oh.
That guy.
It's happened before. Oh. So, but yeah, that's why those defensive tackles are that's such a difference maker.
Yeah.
Because when you eliminate the running game, I think Nick Fairley was so good.
Oh, he was nasty.
That year that Auburn won, he was as important to the team as Cam Newton.
Yeah.
As important. I know people may go, oh, Paul, you're crazy. Cam was so good. So was Nick Fairley.
Yeah, he was.
No one could block that dude. No one could block him. And he would take over games on that side of the ball by himself. Look, Nebraska's last truly great team was Ndamukong Suh.
If Texas had Suh that year, they would have won the Natty.
Yeah. And Ndamukong Suh, probably the most, the one I've seen in person. And actually here, Baylor did a great job against them. But what was his name? Jared. I had to announce his name a bunch of times. Jared, I can't remember his name. He had 7 sacks in the game because they were triple teaming Ndamukong Suh. Yeah. And this guy was
feasting.
All right, well, fine.
What else are you going to do?
I mean, I guess if you've chosen, I would rather be hit by him than you.
Yeah.
Or you than him. All right, I'll hit you.
That's fair.
If that's the social contract that we have, I would rather be hit by you than by Ndamukong Suh. I actually think that's probably a wise choice.
I think so, too, because there's no telling, on the way up, Suh might stomp you or something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, here's Chotakan. I don't know if I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Texas is the bigger university in the bigger state with a bigger national brand. There's a reason Tennessee fans have to turn into Ken Burns to make an argument. Oh. Shoot this into my veins. Let's make a rivalry. Davy Crockett Trophy.
I think it's inevitable, man. There's so much juice behind this already. It's coming.
Let's go. Jared Crick. Thank you, Scotty B. Thank you, Scotty B. Jared Crick, 7 sacks. I was doing internal PA, which is not the glamorous PA. Internal PA is
this. Just in the press box?
You can just hear it in the press box, and it's that sack made by Jared Crick.
It's like golf. It's like a golf announcement.
It's 3rd and 7. Yeah. Jared Salubi on the carry for 3 yards. And then sometimes they'll be like, with that touchdown, that is a school record.
Yeah.
And the only time I ever had to really yell was RG3 to Terrence Williams.
Oh,
I was pass complete to Terrence Williams. That one I had to yell. And I probably sounded it was unbelievable to see in person. Unbelievable. But other than that, yeah. So I love this. I love it. I am going to, like an episode of Big Brother, I'm going to find surrogates on either side to create more of an argument. Hey, I was just downstairs with Texas. You know what they said about you? And then I'm going to go to Texas and be like, so, look, I was talking to Tennessee, and I mean, I don't know what their deal is, bro. I don't know what their deal is. Like, I rock with you, which Texas probably wouldn't believe that. But but listen, I live in your state, man. I got to rock with you. Like, I got to rock with you, So, I know sometimes we don't get along, but like, we ultimately have each other's back, right?
Yeah, we're good, man.
We're cool, right? And then I go to Tennessee and be like, Texas thinks I have their back. And then I just create this whole fight between them. And then I reap the benefits.
Yep.
And then I'll be like, you know what you guys should do? Fight for this trophy. That's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do.
For it.
I'm going to needle them either way. Yeah. I'll be like, hey, Tennessee says Davy Crockett was better in their state than he was here. Yeah. And then Texas like, he died for the cause, man. Y'all can go to hell. I'm going to Texas. That's what I'm saying. Come and take it. You have those shirts? No,
not at all.
And then they'll be like, oh yeah, we were around in 1794. And they're like, guess what? Wasn't around in 1794. Most of the rest of the states.
Too busy being our own country.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were pretty badass when you could fire one little musket ball at a time. How many westerns take place in Tennessee?
Yeah, exactly.
Not many. Where did Rio Bravo happen? Yeah. So no, I'm already trash talking both sides. This is. You know what? It's not every day you found what you're meant to do in life. I think this have. Is this like what people like when they decide they're going to be like ministers feel like?
It might be.
I've been called to do this. My new mission in life is to needle Texas and Tennessee until the rivalry is as big. And maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe I get people who are, followers of this cause that after I'm long gone, we're like, you know what? Like that Texas and Tennessee thing is almost as big as A&M and Oklahoma for them. Like I would like Tennessee to pass Arkansas.
Oh, I think
their third rival.
I think that should be easy. Because Arkansas, the way Arkansas is right now, they're not going to be able to compete on the field year in and year out. They're so far behind, whereas Tennessee has things in place. Mm-hmm. Tennessee can compete with Texas. But yeah, I think it would, and honestly, I think that would, and you add more fuel to the fire. If Tennessee was able to get a couple of wins in on them early, dude, it's on from there.
Yeah. Emery, by the way, you missed it. I was turned to talk to you and you weren't here. I would like you to make sure that this segment goes to James and that we put this all over everything today, even on the TikTok.
Yes.
I've learned how to tick, but not to talk.
You're halfway there.
I'm halfway there.
Half-stepping.
I'm a good ticker. I'm a terrible talker. Terrible at talking. When we come back, which of the three new ACC teams will be better first? I think you and I are going to agree on this.
Yeah, I think so.
But we'll rank them in order of 1, 2, 3 of who will be more on the conference scene quicker and why. And then we'll also talk about if Florida State and Clemson leave, will one of those schools, who will benefit the most from that?
Okay.
Should the ACC stay intact mostly?
Right.
Let's say they lose 2 to 4 teams.
Yeah, but they're able to keep the
rest together and then move on from it.
Yeah.
So that'll be the theory that we're working under, because Florida State and Clemson are leaving.
They're gone. Yeah.
Make no mistake. I'll just say this before we start this. They're leaving. We just don't know when.
Right, exactly.
We don't know when. We don't know how. It's going to happen.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. When we come back, we'll talk about that. This is the Triple Option on 365 Sports.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been feeling the slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast just got faster.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back to the Triple Option. Paul Catalina and Garrett Ross today. If there are any attorneys in the chat viewing today, if you would like to help me out on trademarking the Davy Crockett Trophy,
Yes.
I would like to do that, and then I will make a reasonable bargain with Texas and Tennessee for this. This is not something I'm going to ask for. I want more things on the back end, merchandising rights. I wanted George Lucas this deal, where give me a better cut of the merchandising rights on this deal, because and then
that's where it's at.
And that's what we'll do. Give me a nice cut of that on the back end. Everything else, we'll work out. I think this is good for college football. I think this is good for you guys.
Absolutely.
This is me embracing the new world of college football.
Yeah.
Putting my hands around it. So if you know how to get me, let me, of course, granted, I'm sure there's Davy Crockett's probably got heirs that we have to loop into this too,
We'll figure that out.
Look, I'm
It's
telling
small
you.
things, Paul.
I'm telling you right now, Davy Crockett was getting some.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were
He was doing his thing.
You don't raise to the level. He killed him a bar when he was only 3. You're telling me he's not getting ass? He's getting some ass. All right? I'm just telling you right now.
All across the trail.
Yeah. Yeah. He was king of the wild frontier.
Yeah.
That wasn't just shooting animals.
No.
Fighting vagrants. This was yeah.
The good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he was packing heat for sure. I'm not foolish enough to think they made a whole Disney show in the 50s and 60s about him.
Right.
Not because he was some loser.
No. There was a reason.
Yeah. I'll do a Davy Crockett After Dark series. Hey, baby, I'm king of the wild frontier, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I think there's so many possibilities that can come from this. So, and if you learn anything from this show, it is my theory that Davy Crockett was hung like a gas pump.
Yes.
Which is a great segue into Cal, Stanford, SMU. They have now joined the ACC. I think you and I are both going to be in agreement that SMU will be the best of them the fastest.
Yes. They have everything they need in place. Money,
and I
coach,
think over
everything.
the long term, the other thing they have in place that Cal and Stanford don't have is a group of very wealthy alumni, which they have, but those very wealthy alumni at Cal and Stanford don't care as much about football as these dudes do.
Fully invested.
Yeah, fully invested.
Their identity coming up was football, and it was stripped away from them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that SMU will hit the ground running. They are, if you look at FSU's schedule this year, they've got a tough ass Memphis team that they've got to play. In addition to going to Ireland and playing Georgia Tech, who's way better. Of course, Georgia Tech finally comes around. They play them again, and they're better. Great.
Of course.
Of course they're better.
Have they played Memphis since Norvell came over?
No.
This will be the first. Okay.
No, this will be the first time. So, really good Memphis team. And they have their SMU's first ACC home game. And I think they're on upset alert all the time. They're going to get everybody's best shot, but they're on upset alert that day.
Well, they should be.
SMU is going to be fired up. That place is going to be packed. I mean, I'll be in attendance, which is going to put a lot of pressure on Mike Norvell. It's the first time I'm laying my own, in-person eyes on them, and my approval means a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't know it yet,
but he's going to find out.
But it does. I think SMU will be really good really fast, mostly because they're already in a football factory state in Texas. They can't, they're going to be, I think UCF in the Big 12 is going to have the same thing. I think that is going to boost them both where, they're in a football state that the other great football state is also going to play in, right? So, you're going to have this transference there. I think that's going to be really good, where before there was, there used to be pretty strong battle lines. If somebody, most of the time people from Florida would not go to Texas.
Right.
It happened occasionally. Texas was really going into Florida to get guys. And I think that's part of the reason that Florida would win title. Miami, FSU, and Florida won the titles is that they would go into Texas and go, oh, well, this guy's the best defensive end in the country.
Yeah, he's coming here.
He's coming here. We're going to get him. Look, Michael Barrow, right? That went to Miami. Those kind of things. Who's the other guy?
The kid from Dallas that went to I can't think of his name right now.
But he's the one, Jesse Armstead.
Yeah, in the pool.
In the pool.
In the
he was kind of the first one of the recruiting nonsense.
For Carter.
Thing. Yeah. So, those guys, they would go and get them, right? Hey, Texas is great, but they, what's way more fun than winning the Southwest Conference, winning the national title.
And you were selling, coming to a beat, being close. Yeah, there was so much.
There was so much that they were selling. It's obviously different now with NIL,
And everybody knows each other 7-on-7. It's totally different. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think Kim Coulter just keeps typing cheaters.
Look, they're not. They did everything everybody else was doing. They just got out over their skis a little much.
Well, they
took the brunt for the conference.
Yeah, they did. They were made an example of.
Exactly.
Because if the NCAA was going to do equal punishment, they would have killed football.
They would have killed everybody.
So SMU was the example. And they've not done it since then for a reason.
No, they've had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, they had plenty of opportunities. Now, yes, they were cheating their ass off in the 80s. But they've been through it. They have been through it. So they were everybody's homecoming game for a long time, a very long time. They were not scary at all. Losing to SMU was one of the most embarrassing things that could happen. And you've had a generation of guys who were in college then, or who came from FSU lineage or SMU lineage that are now putting a ton of money behind this and want to see them win the ACC. Cal, I think, would be second. They're set up now. Stanford just doesn't seem to have that much care for football as it does for everything else. Because football is way more expensive. It's a lot harder to recruit 85 Stanford football players than it is 25 divers, 25 baseball players, right? 25 softball players, those kind of things. But when you're trying to get 85 Stanford people, and I'm not even knocking Cal. Cal's got almost the same thing. But when you're trying to recruit those guys, I think it's harder. It's harder now in the era of NIL because I can go to a school that's not Stanford, but I can make $1 million. And I don't have to read as many books. You
could still get get
a great education.
You could go to Duke or somewhere else like that has a pristine education and get that as well, just not on the level of Stanford. Yeah. I initially was thinking Stanford would be better, and I think I'm probably getting caught up in their history more so than what Cal has. I do think Justin Wilcox is the better coach right now of the two programs with Cal. It's just, man, both of those, they're so difficult to recruit to. I don't know the draw and how many players are going to be interested in wanting to go there, knowing you're going to have to travel 95% of the time to the other coast. Yeah. I guess maybe Cal would have the edge. I feel like Stanford's history, though. And
I think they're both again, but they don't have fan bases that are really enthusiastic
neither one of them
about it right now, right?
No.
They don't have the care.
No.
Look, the reason that we wind up picking on Rutgers in the Big Ten kind of a lot is
Or Vandy, yeah. I mean,
or Vandy, like Vandy's fans
do care.
Vandy's fans care. They
know their place.
I mean, it is what it is. But Rutgers fans might. It's just not like it's not been baked into their culture as a school like it has in these other places, and so it's not at Cal and Stanford. It is at SMU. And you've got guys spending angry money now, especially when you think of like in 1983, a gold Trans Am got us in trouble that we didn't even give him.
Yeah, exactly.
That we didn't even give him, although they gave him plenty of other stuff. But a gold Trans Am, and then Texas is doing an event where it's Lamborghinis. No offense to the makers of the Trans Am, but a Lamborghini it is not.
Yeah, no, and I think SMU, you could make a case that they are already having an impact in Texas because of the situation that just unfolded at Houston. I think the money SMU raised so shortly ultimately played into Chris Pesman being let go down to Houston. And when you have that kind of support, that kind of influx, and just the built up knowing of what could be that was stripped away from you, everything is there for them. You're sitting in the Metroplex where, just like you mentioned with UCF, while you might not be able to pound for pound recruit the highest caliber players in there, you're going to get enough really good players to come in. And then you have the luxury of being in a place where when guys who didn't elect to come to your school in the first place want to transfer back home, now you could go to Dallas, play there, and the only option you don't have is TCU. I know I've worded that all wrong.
Yeah.
But you have more than one option than TCU. You can go back home. They're in a perfect situation to cook.
Yeah. So, Kim mentioned that like they had the effing governor leading the way and also got cheating 2 more times. Basketball got caught cheating too. Under Dave Bliss, as a matter of fact, who well, he's got
his own thing.
A checkered past,
yes,
to say the least. But fight on, says Paul. Tell the fans that fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, suffering leads to the dark side. I know that. Thank you, fight on, for that. Okay, this is the segment you've all been waiting for. When we come back, the most Florida thing that's ever Florida. This is the Triple Option on 365 Sports.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly. But if you're still tying your critical applications together on multiple shared public networks, you've probably been feeling the slowdown. And that's no good for business. A private UPN fiber network can get you and your business moving at the speed of light. Whatever you need, we can build it. Internet, Metro Ethernet, Waves, dark fiber. We deliver custom private networks and are focused on business customers only. Our next generation 100% fiber optic infrastructure offers you low latency and ultra scalable bandwidth with speeds up to 100 gigabit to run your critical applications. Your connection won't be limiting your performance anymore. It's diverse and scalable, so it can grow and change as your business grows and changes. And with a secure carrier-grade private network, you'll have all the reliability you need. Contact UPN today to learn more. Fast just got faster.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back to the Triple Option. Paul Catalina alongside Garrett Ross. And this story, I saw this story this morning, and it is the most Florida thing that's ever happened. A lawsuit filed in Tallahassee today as a 19-year-old in the club where she worked as a stripper have sued Florida's Attorney General and 2 local prosecutors to stop enforcement of a new state law prohibiting adult entertainment businesses from employing people who are under 21, claiming it violates their constitutional rights. Now, I'm going to tell you this girl's name.
Okay.
And when this name comes out of my mouth, Emery, tell me what other job she could have than this. Serenity Michelle Bushy claims the lawsuit she lost her job at Cafe Risque in the Gainesville area. It's just south. It's just south of Gainesville. Took effect on Monday. She is younger than 21. The purpose of the law was to deter human trafficking, according to Florida lawmakers.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
So it's on behalf of Bushy, the owner of Cafe Risque, and 2 other adult businesses in Jacksonville, which, believe me, if they get rid of under 21 strippers in Jacksonville, there's going to be some closed clubs. But Garrett, the picture I sent you.
Yeah, I cannot get. It's not working.
You can't. Okay. So if you've ever driven down I-75 in Florida or up I-75, when you get about 50 miles in either direction, maybe 100 as it's going south, well, probably 100 miles in either direction. But when you drive from Tallahassee on I-10 and then go down, so I would do this a lot because I was from Fort Myers, or like when you drive down, or say you're going to Orlando or Tampa or Miami, wherever you're going. So you go on I-10, and when you hit I-75, which is in Lake City, so you Lake City, Florida, you hit 75 and you head south, and so the minute you hit about 10 minutes south of Lake City, it will have signs for Cafe Risque, a strip club just south of Gainesville in Alachua, which is open 24 hours. Couples are welcome, and it has great food. That's what they'll tell you.
Like the wings in Atlanta.
Yeah. It also, the girls on the picture that they show, they haven't updated these. I mean, at least the last time I saw them from the old days, they did not update them from a long time. But also, it wasn't, the girls looked like the ones, like they were also, like they were modeling for this campaign, but also on like the gonorrhea, it can happen to you, like posters you saw at the student medical center. Like that was the thing. It was not, in no way would you, unless you were like mostly it's an ironic thing for people to do. They stop there, they take a picture, they go in, they get a menu. Like, we had a grilled cheese sandwich here. It was weird.
It's like this little pit stop thing.
I just saw, like, when I did the Google search, I saw a Yelp review of people doing that.
Oh, my God.
So, but yeah, 24 hours, which is never a good thing.
No.
Never a good thing for a business like that. And the pictures are not enticing at all. The place is really, I mean, it looks exactly what you think it looked like. I mean, it's right, like, it is the most Florida thing. Just south of, again, Gainesville, a place known for its class.
Yes. And ethics.
But anyway, but yes. So Serenity Michelle, but like you can't, if you name your kid Serenity Michelle Bushy, what is she going to be?
I mean, you're asking for it.
Yeah.
My only thing, all right.
Am I one day going to see Senator Serenity Michelle Bushy?
I mean, at this point, you might.
Dr. Florida.
Very
Dr. Serenity Michelle Bushy? No, I'm not.
So trying to say that, I'm confused with the age limit thing here, because if she can be sent off to slaughter in the name of America or whatever, at 18, then why can't she do this? Yeah. That makes no sense to me. And then so what's the difference in this and an 18-year-old getting NIL? Like, if she would have spent more time learning how to box out than twerk, like, is it cool? Like, what are we looking at here? So I'm a little confused on these rules put in place by people.
Yeah. I don't know. 8 other performers. So they lost 9. 9 on their Cafe Risque, lost 9 on their roster, who are older than 18 but younger than 21. They can't do that. And so Cornelius says, marry me, Serenity now. So
save the day.
It is weird. That is, and like Florida, as I heard it described, I think it was Carl Hyacin, who's a great writer, was a newspaper man, as a novelist, He wrote Striptease, Bad Monkey, Stormy Weather, like all these really great like Tourist Season. There's one I read last summer that's from the 80s. Jimmy Buffett wrote a song about the bad guy in Tourist Season called The Ballad of Skip Wiley. And Carl Hyson, like one of my favorite writers. Of course, growing up in Florida, it also like you read it and you're like, oh, I've lived this right here.
It just vibes with you.
Yeah, you would.
I'm gonna check this
especially
out.
like if you're just chilling. If they're always quick reads, but they're always really good, funny stories. Striptease didn't turn out as great of a movie as it should have been, especially with the one and only Burt Reynolds in it. But he kind of nailed his part in that.
He did his part. Everybody
else was kind of around him. Actually, Burt Reynolds, Robert Patrick, great in that movie. Everybody else, but it is so unique. You drive past it, and it is just so Florida. And Florida is described as a sunny place for shady people.
That's perfect.
And here's what happens. So, if you live in New York, New Jersey, Chicago mostly goes to Arizona, but Chicago, Boston, the Northeast, like when you lived up there and you moved down to Florida, most of you did that to retire and get away from your kids.
And hide.
Yeah, like you're going to go retire. But what happens is the kids who are successful, they stay or they go their own way. But the one kid that you really were hoping to get away from is the one who will like come visit you down there and then not leave.
Yeah.
And then that's the kid that starts a meth lab in an abandoned Checkers, like those kind of things. And then, wrestles a gator in his shorts and tank top. Like there's like that, like that's what happens. And then you've got it's easy to smuggle things into Florida. There's a lot of illegal things. Miami's a very shady place. Tampa was a very shady place, shady. Shady. I mean, like where, like the mob was all in, the mob took over big swaths of Florida in the 20s. Like,
wasn't that the whole Boca Raton thing? Like the rat?
Yeah. So like that's, there's all that. So it's, there's so much. Yeah, it is so crazy. And when you hear a story like this, it just takes me back home. It takes me back home. But I remember, driving to Gainesville, past Gainesville, anytime you do, you see those signs. The other thing about it is Cafe Risque is responsible for every kid who grew up in Florida and drove north asking, Dad, what's Cafe Risque? And then your dad going, there. Well, it's a place we're not going there. We're not going to go. It's not a good place. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Why are you there, Dad?
And then well, how do you like? I've never been there. No. And like, absolutely not. Like, I mean, it says they have good food.
Yeah.
And there's those ladies are smiling. Like, hey, you can't. It's a bar. It's for adults. Like, okay, when I'm an adult, can I go there? Please don't.
Yes, please
don't go there. Why don't you want me to go there? I can't tell you why, because me telling you why is going to make you want to go there. And I don't, like right now, you're going to think it's great. Like you're 8 years old, you're going to think it's great. I can't tell you why you can't go there now, because it's going to make you want to go there. And the minute you're 18, you're going to go there. And then you're going to be mad that I told you that this is how it was, because I can't really describe to you that it's not really all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, here's what Cafe Risque is. As much as I may have painted this picture, Cafe Risque is a very sad place. It's a place where dreams go to die. So this is not a place that you want to go. Like, again, most people go through. So yeah, I saw it. We had to talk about it. So. Cornelio said Pandora Peaks. That info, like the one and only Pandora Peaks, was in that movie Striptease 2. That info was told to me. Seriously.
Yeah, sure it was.
Oh, so I'm glad that you guys understood this and got it. I appreciate you for watching, but it was bad. Okay, 30 votes in the poll of who is the real UT.
What we got?
with 53%, Texas is the real UT. So
Rocky Top.
So there you go. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer for Rocky Top. But don't worry. Sooner or later, we're going to have the Davy Crockett Trophy that you guys can wrestle over. Trademark Paul Catalina, Garrett Ross, Jack McKenzie, and Emery Winter. And
I was thinking when you said the trademark, you remember the commercial with like the little dude chiseling on the that's what I thought.
That's what I want. That's what I want. So when we next see you in an hour, we have got a really cool show for you today. David Murphy, Rangers TV analyst, on the Rangers and how healthy they're getting and how quickly. Grant Taft recorded an interview with Smokey yesterday. Garrett, you were here.
Please tune in to this Grant Taft interview. This man is sharp as a tack. The stories, everything, it was remarkable. It was literally, he was so joyful throughout this. It is, even if you're not a Baylor fan, if you're a historian, anybody, please tune into this interview. It is remarkable.
We're 50th year of Miracle on the Brazos, which was his greatest moment in coaching over many great moments. And thank you for the soundtrack. Jake Hatch joins us at 5:10. We're going to talk Utah State and how that went down. Mike Craven, Dave Campbell's Texas football on Texas, joined the SEC. Also, get him to comment on one of his co-workers wrote a great article about A&M squandering their 12-year run-up to the SEC. This is the Triple Option. See you in an hour.
If your business is like most, you need things done quickly.